Grace and peace to you, sisters and brothers. This is Amy Wilson Feltz of St. Paul's United Methodist Church in El Paso, Texas. I'm so grateful to be meeting with you over coffee on this Wednesday morning. This has become my midweek treat, and I so look forward to it. We find ourselves today in the middle of Holy Week. So tomorrow is Maundy Thursday, and we'll be spending some time thinking about Jesus and the Last Supper and the foot washing that he offers his friends, but we'll also spend some time thinking about Jesus in the garden as he prays for God's will to be done. And prayer is something that you and I have been talking about over the past several weeks, and I had the privilege of talking with Bill Wood, who is one of our certified lay ministers at St. Paul's. He is a parent in the faith. He has been studying the Bible in depth for longer than I have been alive, so I consider him to be our resident scholar, and he and I were talking about prayer recently. And he shared with me a story that he read in one of his devotional books about this little girl who had a problem, and she prayed with her mother, who is a pastor. And the mother certainly prayed with her, but didn't exactly expect the little girl's prayer to be answered in the way that she wanted it to be. But it turned out that the little girl's prayer was answered in exactly the way that she wanted it to be, and the mother was astonished. And it reminded Bill of this story in Acts chapter 12 when Peter is in prison and his friends are praying, presumably for his release. And he is released miraculously. We're told in Acts chapter 12 that the chains fall off and that the guards fall asleep and that the gates open, and he walks right out of the prison and he goes to his friend's house. And so I want to read a little bit of that today from Acts chapter 12. I have my Bible here again. Peter has been miraculously released from prison, and he goes to the house where his friends have been praying, presumably for his release. And when he knocked at the outer gate, a maid named Rhoda came to answer. This is Acts chapter 12, verse 13. Verse 14 says, on recognizing Peter's voice, she was so overjoyed that instead of opening the gate, she ran in and announced that Peter was standing at the gate. They said to her, "You are out of your mind. You are out of your mind." They told her, no, this must be his angel, his ghost, that perhaps he was released from prison because he had been executed. Now, this kind of reaction is something that we see throughout the Bible. We'll see it again when Jesus is resurrected, and people have been told about his death and foretold about his resurrection, and still they don't believe it. And so the question that Bill asked me, and I want to share it with you today, is do we really believe that God's going to do something when we pray, especially in terms of this pandemic? Are we earnestly praying to God, trusting that God is going to do God's brand of work, which is making a way where there seems to be no way, bringing life from death? When we pray, when we're asking for healing, we're asking for deliverance, we're asking for relief, do we truly believe that God is going to answer those prayers? We're in the middle of Holy Week, which is a huge celebration of the fact that God indeed answers prayers in miraculous and mysterious and amazing ways. And so my invitation today is that we continue to pray. We continue to fall on our knees. We continue to seek God's will and ask for healing. And that we stand, yes, amazed by the way that we see God's work unfold, but that we're not surprised. We can be amazed by God's work without being surprised by it, because our God does bring life from death. That is what we will proclaim loudly on Easter morning, and it cannot come soon enough. So thank you so much for your time. Please continue to pray. I join you in that prayer, and we will talk again very soon. Grace and peace to you.